Commander Zexithara's mandibles clicked in amusement as she addressed the Galactic Council's emergency session. The Catherian's exoskeleton gleamed under the broadcast lights, her compound eyes reflecting the assembled delegates from 47 species across the galaxy. Esteemed council members, her voice resonated through the universal translators, we gather today to discuss the curious case of the human species. Murmurs rippled through the chamber. The humans had been making noise lately, establishing colonies, building ships, making demands for representation. Most species found them annoying at best. These bipedal mammals, Zexithara continued, her tone dripping with condescension, believe themselves worthy of a seat among civilized beings. They've existed for barely 200,000 years, infants by galactic standards. Their technology is primitive, their society fractured, and their biology, she paused for effect, laughably weak. The Volthak delegate's crystalline form pulsed with agreement. Indeed. No natural armor, no energy manipulation abilities, no telepathic capabilities. They cannot even survive in space without crude mechanical suits. Their bone density is pathetic, added the Gorvani representative, his forearms gesturing dismissively. A single blow from any of our species would shatter their frail skeletons. Zexithara nodded, warming to her theme. The broadcast was being transmitted across the galaxy. Let every species see how the Council viewed these upstart humans. They possess no natural weapons, no claws, no venom, no hardened carapace. Their reaction times are sluggish, their strength minimal. They require sleep for a third of their existence. Imagine such inefficiency. Laughter echoed through the chamber. Even the usually stoic Meridians seemed amused. But perhaps most telling, Zexithara continued, is their lifespan. Barely a century if they're fortunate. How can beings who exist for such a brief moment comprehend the complexities of galactic governance? How can they contribute anything meaningful to? The main display flickered. An aide scurried to Zexithara's side, chittering urgently in her ear. Her amusement faded. What do you mean, the human fleet? She demanded, loud enough for the translator to pick up. More aides rushed in, their movements frantic. Data tablets were thrust before delegates. The chamber's confident atmosphere began to crack. Admiral Korath of the Draxan hegemony stood, his scaled hide flushing red. Commander Zexithara, I'm receiving reports that human vessels have simultaneously appeared in 14 systems. My fleet commanders described them as unusually aggressive. Impossible, Zexithara snapped. Humans have perhaps 50 vessels capable of interstellar travel. Ma'am, an aide whispered urgently. The count is now at 3,000 ships and rising. The chamber fell silent. 3,000 ships appearing simultaneously across multiple systems was a feat that even the most advanced species would find challenging. The main display activated without authorization. A human face appeared, weathered, scarred, with eyes like chips of winter ice. The being wore no ornate robes or ceremonial armor, just a simple gray uniform. Greetings, Galactic Council, the human said, his voice calm despite the chaos erupting in the chamber. I am Fleet Admiral Chenwei of the Terran Defense Force. We couldn't help but notice your educational broadcast about humanity. Zexithara's mandibles clacked nervously. How did you access our secured channels? Chen's smile was razor thin. You called us weak, Commander. You mocked our short lifespans, our fragile bodies, our primitive technology. He paused, consulting something off-screen. You spent considerable time discussing our lack of natural weapons. Warning klaxons began sounding throughout the council chambers. Aides rushed in with increasingly frantic reports. Perhaps, Chen continued, you failed to understand what makes humans dangerous. It's not our claws. We made better ones. It's not our armor. We built stronger. It's not our lifespans, it's what we do with the time we have. The display split. Half showed Chen's impassive face. The other half revealed orbital bombardment footage from multiple worlds, not civilian targets but military installations, belonging to Council species. Precise surgical strikes that spoke of intelligence gathering and planning that must have taken decades. You see, Chen said conversationally, when you live only a century, every moment matters. When you're born without fangs, you learn to make better teeth. When you're weak individually, you become stronger collectively. More reports flooded in. Human ships had struck simultaneously across 847 systems. Not random attacks, targeted. Elimination of every military asset belonging to Council species. Bases that had taken centuries to build were reduced to molten craters in minutes. The thing about being pathetically weak, Chen continued, is that it teaches you to be smart, to plan, to prepare. And humans, Commander Zexthera, have been preparing for this conversation for 80 years. The Volthak delegate's crystal form cracked with stress. This is impossible. Our intelligence network showed nothing. Your intelligence networks, Chen replied, have been feeding you exactly what we wanted you to see. Every primitive human. You dismissed every weak traitor you ignored, every insignificant diplomat you barely acknowledged. They were all gathering intelligence, building networks, preparing. The display now showed human vessels in orbit around every Council homeworld. Not in attack formation, but close enough to matter. The message was clear. We could have ended this before you knew we were coming. You called us weak because we need tools to survive in space, Chen said. But what you never asked was, what kind of tools does a species build when survival depends on them? The footage shifted to show human weapons in action. Energy discharges that vaporized kilometer-thick armor plating. Missiles that bent space-time to reach their targets instantly. Defensive screens that turned Council weapons into harmless light shows. Our bones may be fragile, Chen continued, but the ships we build are not. Our lifespans may be short, but our memories are long. Our bodies may lack natural weapons, but our minds... The camera zoomed in on his eyes. Our minds are the most dangerous weapons in the galaxy. Zexthera's voice cracked as she spoke. What do you want? What we've always wanted, Chen replied. Respect, recognition, and a seat at the table where decisions about our future are made. His expression hardened. The only difference is that now, we're not asking. The transmission ended. In the sudden silence, emergency reports continued flooding in. Every Council military asset in the galaxy had been neutralized in a perfectly coordinated strike lasting exactly 17 minutes. As the implications sank in, Zexthera realized the terrible truth. Humans weren't weak because they lacked natural weapons. They were terrifying because they didn't need them. Word count: 998.